Every new team in the Power Rangers universe usually tend to follow a similar trend in terms of Ranger colours corresponding to certain character traits. The Red Ranger is usually the strong, brave leader, the Blue Ranger is often the brains of the team, and the Pink Ranger is typically the level-headed voice of reason. Most of these colours carry over from season to season, but there is always one Ranger who stands above the rest: the Sixth Ranger. Every Power Rangers team has an additional member that shows up usually around halfway through the season. Sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're villainous, but they are always unique. They get overpowered weapons, redesigned outfits, their own personal Megazords, and they usually become the strongest Ranger on the team. Before we get into the list, I should clarify that the term Sixth Ranger isn't literal. Sometimes they may be the 5th member of the team, sometimes the 7th, and sometimes they're just Ranger allies. But the show uses the 6th Ranger term as a catch-all term. Therefore, any special Ranger who joins the team later in the show is up for consideration, whether they are the 6th member or not. So let's get into it. This is a list of the most powerful 6th Rangers ever. Samurai Ranger in the Power Rangers Ninja Storm series. He's actually the son of the mentor of the Rangers in this series, and this Ranger started off as the intel of the Ranger group, but soon became a Ranger himself. The coolest of the group, in fact. This Green Ranger has one of the coolest 6th Ranger outfits out there, complete with a weighted gear set and a flippin' helmet that changes when he switches forms. Number 8. Magna Defender, Lost Galaxy. Magna Defender is one of the coolest 6th Rangers out there just because of the lore that he was given in Lost Galaxy. At first, we are given a Magna Defender seeking vengeance for the death of his son and the destruction of his homeworld. However, he sacrifices his life to save the space station, Terra Ventura. And his powers are then passed on to revive the recently deceased Mike Corbett, bringing him back to life as the 2nd Magna Defender. If that backstory alone doesn't make him one of the best 6th Rangers out there, then we're not sure what does. Number 7. Eric Myers, Time Force. You literally can't have a best 6th Ranger list without the Quantum Ranger. This character is literally an anime rival character that came from nothing brought to the real world. He begins as an enemy, becomes an anti-hero, and soon becomes a complete partner to the main cast of Power Rangers. We use the term partner lightly here. The coolest thing about Eric is that he never truly becomes a friend of the Rangers. He remains that outlaw character. He's still the rude guy towards the team through and through, only really helping them when their interests overlap, and working against them whenever the opportunity presents itself. Number 6. Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, Mighty Morphin. Tommy has worn a handful of different colours, but green is a fan favourite. At the time, Tommy gave the Rangers their biggest challenge so far. He was the very first 6th Ranger, and he set the standard for years to come. The original Green Ranger definitely had the coolest outfit of the season, and he also had a dagger that he played like a flute to summon a robotic dragon from the sea. It was epic, and you know it. The only reason the Green Ranger doesn't actually rank higher on this list is because his powers were only temporary. Tommy eventually moved on to other colours, but this one remains a classic. Number 5. ZHANE, in Space. A lot of fans really love ZHANE. He has a sleek look, an awesome Megazord, and the always cool blaster that becomes a sword weapon thing. He does have unreliable powers, which stems from something to do with leaking Ranger energy, but he's a compassionate Ranger who is willing to make sacrifices for the job. ZHANE even took a bullet for Andros, the Red Ranger, an incident that left him in a coma for 2 years. After he awoke, it didn't faze him. He even led the Space Rangers at the end of the season while Andros was away, proving that he's both a skilled leader and a team player. Number 4. Trent Mercer, Dino Thunder. Though this Power Ranger is often considered to be a tad overrated by the fandom due to his flat performance, there are still several reasons why he deserves a spot on this list. First of all, his story is a great callback to the 6th Ranger before him, Tommy Oliver. This revitalization of Tommy's arc as an evil Ranger was a great throwback and gave fans a touch of nostalgia while also bringing something new to the show. Secondly, we do have to acknowledge how truly awesome his costume is. The Dino White Ranger has an irresistible suit, a truly cool motorcycle, and is everything that a 6th Ranger should be. Number 3. ANNUBIS KRUEGER, SPD. If you thought only humans could be Power Rangers, one look at ANNUBIS KRUEGER will prove you dead wrong. It'll also show you that a humanoid dog is one of the best Power Rangers in history. Being yet another mentor character, ANNUBIS Doggy KRUEGER makes his debut as the Shadow Ranger and has some amazing feats under his belt. Not only does this dog have one of the coolest swords in Power Rangers, but he also took out one of the big bosses of the series without even morphing into his Ranger form. Definitely deserves his place on this list. Number 2. Jason Scott, the Gold Zeo Ranger. If it's not Tommy Oliver, it's definitely Jason Lee Scott. Jason's return after his run as the Red Ranger was one of the greatest returns in Ranger history. Yes, even better than any of Tommy's returns in other installments of the series. This is because his appearance as the Gold Zeo Ranger was hinted at and built up in a way that makes sense and made the reveal really worth it. Not only that, but Jason doesn't really overstay his welcome. He knows he isn't there to overshadow the new cast of Rangers and does so without being jealous of the new blood. It's great seeing him matured and grown from his first appearance. Plus, he is just super effective and powerful throughout the season, almost making the other Rangers seem extremely weak in comparison. Number 1. Tommy Oliver, the White Ranger, Mighty Morphin. Although the Green Ranger powers were amazing, the White Ranger powers are on a whole new level. Tommy is at his absolute peak as the White Ranger. He had a fantastic 2-part introduction, a brand new suit, new Zords, and a living sword that could talk and shoot lasers in Saba. He had taken over as the team's leader and even carried these powers into future seasons as the White Ninja Ranger. Tommy would go on to wear 3 more colours, but his tenure in white makes him the best 6th Ranger in history, at least as far as the show is concerned. Special number 0, Lord Drakkon, Boom Studios. So I have listed this as number 0 because Drakkon's not featured in the show, but as far as 6th Rangers are concerned, he is easily the strongest. Lord Drakkon is the evil version of Tommy Oliver from the Boom Studios comic books. Armed with a hybrid of the Green and White Ranger powers, Drakkon wants to take over the multiverse and destroy every other Power Ranger along the way. Not only can he evolve by absorbing other Rangers' powers, but he's everything Tommy is, and then some. He's defeated Rangers from different dimensions, as well as his fellow teammates. And he has his own personal Ranger army. Did we mention he conquered his own universe? Without contest, Lord Drakkon is the strongest 6th Ranger there is. So this was an extremely tough list to compile, and even as I upload this, I am regretting leaving certain Rangers out. Particularly Ryan Mitchell, the Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. He's an awesome 6th Ranger, but I left him out of this list due to his very limited screen time. There's of course also Orion, who you could definitely argue should be number 1 on this list, as he can actually summon the power of all previous 6th Rangers. But I ruled him out as, in my opinion, that's essentially cheating. Let me know which 6th Rangers you would have liked to have seen in this list by commenting down below. I really hope you enjoyed the video, may the power protect you, and I will see you next time on the 6th Ranger.